Are we live? We are live. Good morning, Dauntless Academy. You're here with just Shannon and Elliot this morning, or
True.
whenever you're watching. Drew left us for reasons unknown. He didn't tell us. He's not a real podcast friend.
Even though you left last week.
But you knew exactly where I was.
True. Yeah. He's a man of a few words, as people on the podcast know.
That's true. That's true. But the few words that he says, I really enjoy.
Yes.
So, Drew,
Yeah.
this episode's for you.
Yeah. Very thought. this this episode is sponsored by Drew's Mysterious Adventures,
Yes. Yes.
wherever they may be.
But this episode, we're going to talk about.
Gear,
That's right.
toe to head. What do you got on? What do you use? All that stuff. So basically, the format will be we're just going to start from the ground up. So the shoes you wear, the socks, things like that, and then kind of like my little rants that I have on maybe each item, and
No, you
then
don't have any rants.
I won't have any opinions on certain things. But first, I'd like to do a brief history lesson on this whole gear situation in CrossFit specifically, and then I'll take us up to present time. It won't take very much time, but
Okay.
just kind of like a 10,000-foot view of what this even feels like.
And I'm
So,
just gonna sit here and drink my coffee then.
yeah, I mean, it's not going to take that long. So,
Okay.
so I started in like 2013. So before my time, back in the day, the the culture was very board shorts and Chuck Taylors. Like that's what you wore to CrossFit. It was like minimal. Why would you wear a shirt? Because you have tattoos all over your body. You're just wearing uh, Chuck Taylors. For the women, I think it was like yoga pants and muscle tanks. Hint, hint, hasn't changed much. Anyway, um, so
Sounds like
from
a good time, to be
oh
honest.
yeah, so from there they started digging in more into the science of different things and trying to tweak things because it started to become just like the first little spot of like professionalization. So then it took a couple more years, and then, like, right as I joined up, it was, like, the gear era, and I'm like and this was really bad for me and my style of things because I was like, "I need all of the things," and I was, like,
Mm.
watching all of these people with all of the things, so
Well, and haven't a lot of those gear businesses really started, like, out of CrossFit gyms?
yeah, oh, yeah,
So
absolutely,
that's
they were all
kind of.
little tweaks and, like, taking from little bit it takes from other sports and stuff, but so what it started happening was with the science aspect of it, like, a research article or something came out about compression, and it makes you fitter and gives you better blood circulation and everything. So everyone was like,
Right on.
compression everything, compression leggings. So it was
Squeeze my
board
body.
shorts. Yeah, it was compression leggings and a top with board shorts and Chuck Taylors. And then like Reebok started making shoes and stuff. They got a deal, but it was like Under Armour shoes and stuff like that or Chuck Taylors.
Okay.
And then so again, gear, compression, all that stuff. And then it was like, well, weightlifters use knee sleeves. And when we're climbing ropes, we need shin guards and wrist wraps because
Everything.
weightlifters wear wrist wraps. And I need a headband because I sweat all the time. And elbow sleeves because we're doing ring dips and it rips the skin on my
And toe
elbows.
spacers.
And no, toe spaces are later. And then, thumb tape and sunglasses and hair product that doesn't burn your eyes when it
Sweats.
yeah, when you sweat and all that stuff, and then, like, the hair ties that are just, like, for women and, like, the extra strength ponytails and all this stuff. So then it was like you needed a gear thing for everything, which is kind of the opposite of what you want for CrossFit because 'cause you're supposed to be ready for anything
Yeah,
technically.
physically able
So you can't
yourself.
be like, "Oh, I need to do this," or "I'm chasing a lion. Well, I didn't bring my runners today, so I can't run, right? So then it started to slowly chip away. Like the people that showed up with a headband and knee sleeves and the thing, you're like, what are you ready for? We're just doing a 400-meter run and push-ups. You're like, yeah, well, where's the chalk?
Mhm.
So that started to chip away. And then it's kind of towards it was like more and more professionalization. Luckily, the people at the top started wearing less and less gear. Um, and then now we're at a point where it's a little bit of flavors of that. And you can kind of see like the waves of depending on when you join CrossFit, kind of where you're aligned. It was like the whole Reebok era for a while, and then Nike stepped in, started competing with their Nike Metcon, and people started wearing Nike shorts and being sponsored by Nike and then There's, like, another new wave, or current wave is, like, Noble, where they came in and they were trying to compete with Reebok and Nike for a while, but then they eventually got the title sponsor of the game. So now they're kind of like the big deal in town and trying to sponsor everybody with all their new gear and stuff. So I mean, even back to one of the CrossFit Games, they had, like, Kevlar straps on their jerseys, the games jerseys. It
Yeah.
was, like, Kevlar on the shorts and on the shoulders for, like, the barbell knurling, and it was like, "Oh my god, like, how expensive can we make a T-shirt that
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
sweat in?" So, that's kind of like the history lesson of where all of that equipment went in and, like, how you
And there's a
what
lot
you
of little
needed.
intricate things. Like, if you start to follow, like, the CrossFit Games athletes on social media, you'll start to see, like, all the little things, like the mouth guard that lets you breathe better, the toe spacers for, I don't know, getting your foot right, the callus grinder little thing, all that kind of little intricate, teeny tiny edge out the competition stuff, but your average athlete isn't going to need any of that.
Right, and I truly believe it was just all marketing from the very beginning, like, all of these events had little vendor villages, and they were all
Yeah,
trying to
yeah, yeah.
solve their own niche little problem, like, "Oh," and at the time, really early, it was, like, glorified that you ripped your hands on the pull-up bar because you went so hard, and it was, like, pictures of bloody hands all the time, be
Mhm.
like, "CrossFit," and, so then they were like, "Oh, well, I can make a hand care product that has, like, beeswax." It's basically like chapstick, and then be like, and it smells like mint, so, it works. And people be like, "I gotta have it."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
at the time, like, CrossFitters were so into it, if you were a vendor in there, it was like you were already family. Like, "Oh, you're trying to help CrossFitters? You're in. Like, how much does that chapstick cost? $85? I'll take 2 of them and bring them back to my box and show people."
Yeah, and then I look like the cool guy who came back from the games,
And it's
got
got
this really cool thing.
got, like, a
Yeah.
fanny pack that says "Noble CrossFit Games." No, so
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
it's just, like,
The cool guy.
over even to the point where they had what do CrossFitters also do? They bring their pets everywhere, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they were selling dog food at certain places. They had, like, paleo
Food
dog
is
food.
fuel.
Think about that, paleo dog food. It was
Well, shouldn't all
uh,
dog food probably be paleo?
shouldn't all yeah. Okay, so, nutrition episode is gonna be a different one, and then after
Oh
this
god.
gear review, if as long as one person either likes this video or comments, we'll do, like, a supplement review, and we'll talk about all the supplements that I take, Shannon takes, and then Drew will probably wanna be on that episode, and we can also dive into kind of, like, the endurance world of the cycling, like, goos and gels and stuff where
Mm,
we could talk about
love a
when and
good
why you
goo.
would take those things, so
Yeah.
I think that could be a really good next episode, but like I said, we need at least 1 like or comment on the video.
Okay.
That's it, but
Yeah.
not from either one of us. It has to be one of you guys, so
Okay.
if we can get one or more.
Yeah, we must have really just covered all the bases on our news podcast because no comments.
Right, yeah,
We
yeah, they
just
were like, "Wow, they just
they
answered everything."
covered it.
So, guys, thanks for showing up and, to this one, and, you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's get started. I mean, I do just wanna say about one thing about me is I'm not your average girl. No. I don't think I have a lot of gear. So, I don't have a lot of extra stuff, and I also am not one to spend a lot of money. Like, I'm the kid growing up that, like, when we went shopping, like, out, new school clothes, me and my girlfriends, I would be the one who'd be like, "Oh, these shirts are $2. I'm gonna buy 20 of these."
Because that's all I need.
'Cause that's because I can get more for my dollar, and then
Mm,
I'd have other friends who'd be like, they'd get, like, a nice jean jacket for $50, and, that'd be what they buy, and they'd always look better, and my shirts would be falling apart by halfway through the year, but there is no such thing as, like, cheap in bulk in CrossFit gear. There is no such thing.
right.
So, I have a limited number of items, most of them have been gifts,
But
and that's
also
my
on that, you
strat.
also showed up to a gym where the main person that was coaching it was now out of they got all that, like, max gear era out of their system. So I had, like, tried all of that stuff,
Yeah.
and it was like, "Okay, a lot of
So
this
you
is,
weren't
like,
projecting
just
that.
bull" so I wasn't, like, showing up. Like, if you
Yeah.
it's hard to say that you wouldn't be influenced by the fittest people in your gym doing things in certain clothes, and you're like, "Well, Elliot" even down to the headband, like, Elliot was always wearing a headband. pretty fast on the rower, so maybe it'll
Yeah,
save me
what
1.
I do have is definitely influenced by, I will say here and now, Meg and Julie. There's a lot of influence
Yeah,
there
and
on the
luckily
the brands that I have.
the branding, yeah,
Yeah,
but even just, like, the items. So,
yeah.
what shoes are you wearing?
Okay, well, right now I have my slippers on, but I have I have 3 pairs of shoes. I use 99.9% of the time Noble trainers. I did recently, these are my older ones. I did recently upgrade to the Noble Trainer Plus. I don't notice a difference. Julie says there's a market difference. I personally don't notice it. So, I just tried them. They're a little bit more expensive. I don't think you need to spend more money and see any sort of difference. Um, I wear these almost all of the time. I will say this is definitely one of those like brand influences. Like I got these because everybody got these and they kind of look nice. Like now that these are not my main CrossFit shoe anymore, like I'll just wear these out. Like these are nice looking
They
shoes.
are clean enough to wear.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just every day. But before this, for years, I was a Reebok Grace girly. Um, and those you can get those on sale for like $60. And they're basically the same premise. They're very lightweight, very flat, all around good sneak. Um, I also got the runners, which have been good because I've been doing a lot more running.
Mhm.
And the Noble trainers, like to go out and pound out a couple of miles is not ideal. Like I notice it just like on my arches, they kind of get a little bit less support. So I do like having the runners, but like I'm not switching out my sneakers mid workout if there's an 800-meter run.
Right, yeah.
Like I'm keeping on the trainer. And then I wanted to give, a mention to the lifters. I've worn these like twice.
Mhm.
So I really can't say if they're like part of my gear group, but when I go back to Barbell Club, I will be using these more regularly, giving them a try. They are really pretty and my husband got them for me for my birthday, and he's a lifter guy. He swears by them. So, those are my sneaks.
Alright, so,
And I'm not I don't care about socks.
okay, I'll go into socks then too. So, I have the Metcons, I usually wear those. I was one of those, like, I had the Nanos, I
Nike,
didn't
right? Yeah.
n yeah, I didn't love the Reebok Nanos for my feet. Then when the Nike Metcon came out, I tried it and it was like, "These are for me." So, they're just a little bit more narrow. I have, like, I'm more of a narrow foot, so they feel more secure around my feet.
Mm,
And then all you really want in these CrossFit shoes, and we see a lot of this and sometimes in intros and stuff, I'll encourage people not to just go out and buy a pair of shoes that you saw someone else wear because oftentimes, or they'll just go to like a Dick's Sporting Goods and then it'll just say like cross trainer on it.
mm,
And it won't be a very robust shoe and it'll have a lot of like foam on the side.
yeah.
And that just gets torn up so quickly. So the great thing about these and the Nobles and the newer Reebok Nanos is they have kind of these little protective areas that mostly CrossFitters do and how the wear pattern is on the shoes. All you're really looking for is a nice fairly flat shoe with an incompressible or very minimally compressed sole. So you want a little bit of cushion, but really you just want like this toe to flex and then this to be kind of in the back here to be stable so it can't easily just twist or roll up into a ball if you're new to all of this lifting and stuff. If you're someone who's worn uh, like minimalist shoes all the time or you're barefoot all the time and your feet are strong enough, then having a more minimalist style shoe is a good idea. It really helps make your feet strong. But if you see somebody lifting a bunch of weight in a minimalist shoe and they love them, and you're always wearing those like Hoka maximalist shoes
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you have bubble wrap,
Walking on a
and then
cloud.
you go all the way down to a minimalist, you're gonna be like, these are terrible. They hurt my feet. Like I have plantar fasciitis. My ankles are killing me. It's too much. Like you want to go more towards strengthening your feet, but you don't
Mhm.
want to just skip steps here. So maybe go to like a Metcon. And if running an 800 meter in a Metcon is like so hard on your feet and that was so tough, your feet are weak. You have weak feet. So you should be able
Throwing
to
shade on the viewers and
so
listeners here.
it's just tough when I see people be like, "Oh, we're running today." And there is like 4 200-meter runs and people bring like their running shoes. And it's like, you should I know that they're a little bit more stiff, but your feet should absolutely be strong enough to run. Like I've run 5Ks in these, which is like the most I would ever want to run in something like this if you're gonna run more, or if the workout is only a 5K, yeah, bring your runners, make it a little more comfortable. But if even if you have, like, 800-meter repeats, your feet and your running technique should be good enough that you can do it in these and you're not, like, crippled the next day.
Yeah, problem is you, not the shoe.
Yeah, most often, yeah, and the more supportive your shoe is, the more problems you have, right? So, and then from there, we have the sock game. So I was, again, super into the sock game for a while, and then it faded out because I was like, "Okay, this is
Really?
ridiculous." Oh, yeah, I had, like, at the time, it was, like, Stance socks, and they had all these different styles, but now I'm just, like, crazy wild black Nike mid-shin
Buy them in a
socks.
pack of, like,
12 and
7.
just be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, and just keep washing them until they're almost gray, and then you throw them away and then buy a new
What are
pack.
these? Oh, I got Reeboks. I got,
So,
like, a pack of 20 of these.
with the socks, I'm cool with it. The only shade I have to throw are the people that wear, like, they try to get into the sock game to wear cool socks, but then they wear, like, dress socks, the really thin socks under the shoes. For me, that's, like, really slippery and weird inside the
Yeah,
shoe. It, like,
yeah.
feels I'm like, "That's not
You
enough."
gotta
So,
yeah, if you're gonna do anything, get, like, at least, like, an athletic sock or
yeah, like,
athletic
more of a
brands.
cotton
Yeah.
sock.
I
So,
I did get a couple of the Noble socks, but they're, like, $11 a pair.
yeah.
And I tried, and they're very cushy. They're
And they're
very
very
thick and
nice,
nice.
but it's still the best sock ever is still just a sock.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
unless you're, like, accessorizing and stuff, but again, that's we're talking purely, like, training wise, what you would actually want and need. If we could have a whole podcast on what looks good and body stuff like that, but this is just like sock
oh,
game.
yeah,
That's where you
the
save
Noble
a little
socks
money.
make my ankles look
So
so
good.
mint.
Woo! Guaranteed 10% more Instagram likes and views.
Okay, so going up from the feet, you wanna talk about, like, shorts, pants?
Let's go knee sleeves. So
Oh, I see, I don't even use knee sleeves
exactly,
because
and
I got big, thick knees. I don't
Uh,
need any knee
no, no,
sleeves.
no extra support. So, that my deal on knee sleeves, I think you see some people love them, some people hate them, and some people just don't even
I've
use them
never
at
even
all or
put
never
one
even
on.
try. I think, a big part of knee sleeves is if you have problems with your knees in the way and the problem I'm specifically talking about is, like, knee tracking of, like, how your patella slides across your knee.
Mm,
If that is already messed up, and then when you put knee sleeves on, it makes you feel better, then that is a case to maybe try knee sleeves because it does hug the knee and can kind of, like, adjust.
keep you on a
So,
good track,
I'm the
basically.
opposite problem. I didn't really have problems with my knees, and then if I wear knee sleeves a lot, I get a very specific type of pain.
So what made you even try knee sleeves if you
'Cause I
don't
saw a
have
bunch
knee
of people I
problems?
just saw a bunch of people wearing them, and I was
Okay,
like,
got it.
"This is I gotta" and I was like, "Well, I'm lifting heavy, so I need knee sleeves for support." And the reality of
Mm,
it, it does not support it's not gonna prevent you from an injury. If you were to do something that would hurt your knees, whether you have knee sleeves on or not, your knees are going to get hurt.
yep,
Uh, One benefit is it does keep them a little bit warmer, so as you warm up, they kinda stay warm if you're, like, taking long rest periods. But, like, there's also an issue where depending on how much room you have in your knee, when you do a deep squat, all of that fabric folds behind the knee and kind of, like, pushes and opens up on the outside. So
yep.
if you don't have nice, like, mobile tendons and everything like that, and your ligaments aren't all primed up, that can feel really uncomfortable. So
Yeah, you gotta have mobile
they have
tendons.
really thin knee sleeves and really thick ones. If you don't have any problems with your knees, it is not just don't get them
Yeah,
because they're probably not going to solve anything for you other than if it's like an accessorized thing or you like to put them across your shins so the barbell doesn't like touch your shins. But other than that, um,
yeah, I know we have plenty of people at the gym who use them,
mhm,
need them, love them. That's fine.
yeah,
My knees just only ever hurt, like, after, like, a long run, and
yeah,
that's, like, a mobility on me problem.
yeah. And it's okay to like if you're doing like a lot of lunges outside and you want to put like knee sleeves on to like protect your knees,
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
that can be a good idea. But the times, that's all right. So now pants, legs.
Pants. Okay, I'm a Fleo girl.
This is where
Again,
Meg just like
severely yeah, Meg,
strapped herself on the Fleo
like
rocket ship. She only messed up because she didn't get an affiliate code
yeah, dude,
and was just like,
she needs, like, use code MEG20, and she would have free pants all the time
she would be retired.
because I've purchased a many. It's an interesting thing, though. Again, very much influenced by the suggestion of my gym peers and Meg in particular. They have different fabrics. So Fleo, if you don't know, are, they have shirts and other things, but use them for their leggings and their shorts, their all of their bottoms. Um, they all come in different fabrics, which if you're wearing leggings, makes a difference. Like, when it's skin tight, it makes a difference. Their bounce fabric is my ride or die. I recently tried their Ninja fabric, which was also great, and those are basically their softer, not a lot of compression, it's not really squeezing you. I like them because the band at the top doesn't have a seam at the very, very top, so it's not rolling down when you squat or you're bending at all, and you're not just constantly pulling at your waist. Some of their more compression fabrics, I don't know what they're called, but I just if basically if it's not Bounce or Ninja, I'm not going to be buying it. Um, I find they do roll or they do slide, like they're tight enough that your movement actually starts to change where your leg is in the pant. And so I'm wearing a pair of them right now. They come in all sorts of nice colors. I do really like them. They are expensive though. Like, most of what I have because of gift cards. Again, I'm one thing about me is I'm not gonna spend money. So, they're like $69 a pair.
And they're hard to get too, right? They do new drops, but
They
they
do
always
new
sell out.
drops all the time, so you gotta get yourself on the email list, and yeah, I mean, if you're a size, like, large, extra large, those I think go pretty quick because they are tight, they're skin tight, so if you don't like to be really squeezed, I think a lot of you, with thicker legs, big muscles, you're gonna be leaning into the, larger side of the size spectrum. Um, I did also just wanna give a shout to their bike shorts. I've put these away for the season, but I have purchased a few different types of their shorts. I don't like my booty to be hanging out in the workouts. I don't think anybody really does, but for some people, it feels that it's hanging out at a higher point
At the
than
top of the
others.
bottom.
Well, both, but
Okay.
mostly the bottom.
The bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've never had that experience.
Yeah, well, because
Yeah.
the top, you're pretty much always gonna be good unless you buy their, like, 2-inch ones that are, like, at the waist, but, like, most of the time, they have, like, the big band that's, like, coming up to your belly button, you're gonna be fine. But I have steered clear of their bike shorts because I also don't want shorts that go all the way down to my knees. It just doesn't look good. Like, I don't like, that just if you know, you know. And so, I tried their bike shorts I gave their bike shorts a try. They're really not that long. They're long enough to play the chafe game, and that's all that we really need. We don't need them to go all the way down to our knees. We need them to go just down enough to not have chafe between the legs. And so, this is my vote for Fleo bike shorts. Perfect length. That's all you need. And they're alternatively like $59. So
The men's version of that. Uh, Pants or shorts? Okay,
you don't
next.
ever wear spandex?
So, I have some virus compression pants. I would say I was probably one of the most, like, high maintenance guys as guys go for what shorts they pick.
Mhm.
It's truly just, like, old basketball shorts. Sometimes I'll start buying, like, the Noble shorts. I wear a lot of, like, virus, stuff, which is it started out as like a I think more of like an MMA apparel thing, but then they've been appealing more towards like CrossFit style stuff, and I just like the way that it fits. But most guys, I'm just saying, like CrossFit guys in general,
Mhm.
are just like the 10,000 shorts or things. They're very low maintenance. I've never seen I would say the biggest engineered finicky item. It like blows my mind, and I don't understand why. Is that women have so much trouble with their pants? Like they just can't figure it out. Like you could get a pair of shorts or a pair of pants for guys, and like 99% of the guys could be able to pick their size, put it on, and be like, "Yeah, they work. They're good." But it's like, do those ones fall down? Did you do the butt check?
Well,
These
because 'cause
ones
you're
ride
not
up.
wearing things that are skin tight.
These ones are pulling. I have virus tights that are skin tight, and they don't do anything.
Well, you
They
also
work
don't have
okay.
hips, my dude.
Okay. Okay. It's just all I'm saying is there's so many different cuts. Some come up to like the nipples, some are low cut, some and I'm just like, put a
Listen
drawstring in there and just cinch it. And then they're like, no, because that's uncomfortable. It's like, okay, but like there's there and they don't move.
listen,
High
society
maintenance.
has
They're just high
beaten
maintenance.
into women that not only do we have to feel good in what we wear or be able to move in it.
But
Because
then you also shouldn't feel that it's on you. Like, God forbid you wear a pair of
no,
pants that you
no,
know that are still on.
but because that is reminding you that you have a body with a belly and an ass, and that is something that in the middle of the workout can take you out of the workout.
Another
And I see you looking at your
Another
friggin'
fa
watch.
another favorite thing of mine is the whole mid-drift line that is just constantly shifting with
Oh,
the
I didn't know we
decades.
were gonna get here,
So
Elliot.
so it used to be like low rise with a regular t-shirt, so you like just see the belly button and slightly below, and then it started to come up. Now it's like high ass ridiculous crop top sweatshirts with a ridiculous like ain't nobody got belly buttons anymore in 2023.
Because we're not allowed to have a fucking waist, Elliot. That's the problem.
These are all things made up by you guys though, together, collectively. I bet guys have no idea what's going on other than me because I'm like in these
No,
conversations,
some
but
guys have an idea of what's going on.
they're not judging you for it.
The CEO
You're
of
putting them on it.
Victoria's Secret has a good idea of what's going on. Like, the
Sure.
people making decisions have a perfectly good idea of what's
Okay.
going on.
But like it doesn't matter what they think.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you.
So are you wearing high-waisted pants right now?
I'm wearing pants that I like how they fit. I found something that works for me. But, like, I also like, I don't know, that's like I'm asking you, like, are you wearing high-waisted pants?
No, my
No,
belt
you're
line has
not.
been the same
Yeah, because
since
and that's where you
underoos.
like it. But if you had other options,
I do have other options.
high-waisted,
Yeah, and low
they make
waist.
them for dudes?
They sure do.
Okay.
But you know
Well,
what
you
we do?
don't buy them.
I just do waisted
Listen,
pants.
just like you
Regular waisted.
well, that's where my waist is in my opinion.
Okay. Oh, so you have regular waisted, it would just be okay.
Yeah, it's my regular waist, which is actually probably true. Like, if I look at myself, like, that's where my waist is.
All I see is I observe people exercise often, and most often I see women working out just adjusting shit all workout. Like pants, sports bra, t-shirt, hair. There's like I would like I if I wear a headband or a wrist wrap that's a little bit too loose, I'm like, stop. Like I don't
If
want any of this. They're like, "Oh, we don't want the drawstring because it's uncomfortable." It's like, "Okay, well, every rep you're hiking
listen,
your pants back up and like adjusting your it's like
all right, Elliot, let me do some translation. If your message to women right now is to encourage them to find something that they're comfortable working in, regardless of what it looks like, and stop worrying about the top of their butt coming out or the side of their boob coming out,
no, you
and
can
just
find something that would fit like that. You
sure,
just
fine, find something that fits you
I
good.
don't want them to pick things that'll be like, "Oh, my ass is out now." Like, you could find something that doesn't move on you.
Well, that's what's happening though, is that, like, it feels like it's moving, and that I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily true. If when you have hips and you have boobs, there's a lot more moving around. Like, I've got 10 pounds flopping around on the front of me in every burpee. Like, things move around. So, I'm all for you saying, care a little bit less about things flopping around to a certain degree. Like, obviously, I don't want my boobies hanging out, but
No, I would wear I think if I would wear things that were supportive enough to, like, hold it in, but I don't know if I would go with the trends in terms
what percent body fat do you have? Right now, you are lean. I know
I
it
don't
too
know,
because of the
probably,
triathlon.
like, 8 or 10.
Yeah, yeah. I have, like, 30, okay? There's just a lot more happening.
All the more for a drawstring. I have a drawstring,
What
I
do
don't
you
even
think a
need it.
drawstring is going to
It
do?
holds it tight.
Yeah, but these are loose. Like, you don't have a drawstring on something that is
Oh, then
tight.
wear looser clothes.
Yeah, if you like that. I don't like that either, though. Like, I don't wanna wear sweatpants.
I'm not wearing sweatpants.
Those to me are sweatpants. Like, those are thicker than these. I mean,
Those are s
I feel that we disagree, vehemently
I'm just
on what
watching
women should wear.
I'm just watching it, and it just looks like the really it's like one of the it's like those really high heels. You're like, "What are you doing?" Like, it's okay to be 4 inches shorter instead of walking around like, "Oh, but it makes my legs look longer." Only to other women. Foot fell for that. Or anyway, let's move on to,
Okay, wait, so you want just last question. You want women to wear strictly what will not move regardless
I'm
of
just
how
saying
it looks.
more functional
More
things, and
function.
less what other women want them to wear. because I guarantee that if women stopped wearing makeup, only other women would notice, and men would be like, "Oh, I didn't even." It would take like 6 years for guys to figure out that that happened
Okay, listen,
because we just
I
don't care.
need
But
my
other
girls.
women put that on you to be like, Shannon, your lipstick is not good. You need better, more expensive lip, and then, all that stuff. And you're not. I don't know if you're a makeup wearer because I see most of the people, but it's just like that whole makeup thing is. Wow, we're really off.
All right, my girls, if there's any girls out there listening to this fucking podcast,
At
I
this
need
point,
you
it's
to
Jackie.
sound off in the comments hard. Jackie, Amanda, I need to hear you in the comments about this opinion of Elliot's. I just want to know where we're at because I can't fully disagree with the whole like wearing what you wear for other women because obviously like fashion is generally curated among, like I said, much of what I wear is influenced by my girlfriends here at the gym. But I also prefer leggings to working out in a drawstring pant. Like I've done that before. I've worn them to class many times. So I don't fully agree with you that all it's all looks over function when somebody comes in here with leggings. I think they
Right,
just
no,
have
I
to
think
find the
leggings
right leggings
I
for
think
them.
leggings are a good place. I think they would be comfortable. I would wear leggings too. I think it's good. It's just there's a lot of, like, shifting around in there with the leggings, and all I'm saying
And I
is,
don't
like,
think that's actually the leggings though, because usually when a girl is pulling on their leggings and pulling them up, I'm one of them. Nothing's actually hanging out. That's the problem. Is you feel like you're being exposed. You feel like, oh, somebody's gonna be looking at my belly, or this just doesn't look good. That's it's all between the ears.
okay, I'm not saying that they should wear baggy clothes. All I'm saying is you should consider. And I'm not saying that, like, you shouldn't feel good or want to look good, but what you should consider and take a deep thought and moment on of why do you think that is what makes you look good? Is that truly your thoughts, or is that other women and people around you saying, "This is how your legs look good." Like, our models influencing and the people at the top, just like when
Yeah, all
we
right.
used to see people like, so you may be like, "Oh, I just feel good and I look good in these leggings and this is what I want." And it's like, but your legs look exactly the same in baggy clothes and in skin tight clothes. It's just depending on what happens, and if anything, if it's thick enough material and it's tight enough, they are shaping your legs to an unrealistic standard. Like, there are some
Mhm.
Gymshark pants that are like, "Wow, your legs look amazing." It's like, well, they, like, sewed in and hemmed some shit up to make it just more angles. So just that's all I'm saying, is just consider, is what I'm wearing for this actually what I want, or is it just like, is this the trend? Because I'm watching the trends, and the high waist is all brand new. And by brand new, it's like I just watched it at UNH from like 2020. They really the waist just started to be like din over the belly button. And in 5 years, it's going to be below, and you're gonna be like, oh, these are so much better. Maybe not you, but like, once the models or the influencers start low waist and everything, they're gonna be like, that does look better. I can't believe we used to wear high waisted shit. All right.
I just love sitting here and listening to you
Talk
talk
about
on
women's.
and on about women's clothes.
Yeah, I'm an observer of men and women. And I would say
And
men,
with that, let's talk about bras.
I would, I
You got
would,
an opinion on bras,
I might
Elliot?
not too much, but I might. Yeah, the back straps are going way too crazy. No,
Oh, I can't.
I'm
No.
just kidding. Hold on.
What time is it? We are going straight till 9, buddy.
Hold on. Hold on. So we're almost done with the,
Oh,
where are
we're
we on?
almost done.
Yeah.
Can we just be done with the leggings? Because if you like your
I was
leggings,
gonna go on men for a little bit.
oh, fine.
Men, you need to, like, put a little more thought into certain things. I've seen people with, like, their high school basketball shorts from '92. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, like,
Hmm.
maybe just, like, wash them and get a new color or something. But that's truly a representation of, like, yeah, but they're shorts, and that's what I'm wearing. And then they don't fall down and they work, so that's what I'm wearing. And it's like, awesome. So I don't most of the men in here don't have outfits. Like, most of the guys that walk in here, I would and that's why I said I was probably the most high maintenance because I probably have the most outfits out of all of the guys, even though I don't really have very many. 1 or 2 is far more far more than so.
Big trend center.
Alright, speaking of high-waisted belts,
I have this in my bag because I own it, not because it is an essential part of my
I have
exercise.
an opinion on belts.
I'm sure you do. Do you wanna continue to speak or let me give mine?
You can go. You can give your opinion.
This is my first belt, it's my only belt, it's the only one I've ever tried. I got it strictly and it's cute, and it was on sale, it was only like $20. It was the end of the summer, sale, and I got it because I was doing a competition in which, the first workout and the strength workout was deadlift, and I have never used a belt. I've kind of felt like if I want to lift more, I should be able to lift more. And my breaking point is my core, my midline. So if I just strap a belt on that, I'm actually not going to be strengthening where I need to be strengthening. That being said, I was doing a competition. Competition, I suppose, is the time to double down, try to get those few extra pounds. So I did get a inexpensive belt. I do not use it regularly, pretty much only use it on max lift day when you are trying to get that extra little bit. It does help me feel more secure in those bigger, heaviest lifts, but on a day-to-day basis at 80%, 90%, even 95%, if we're just going for reps, I'm not using that. I'm trying to strengthen myself.
Yeah, and so I think the belt argument is, again, you came in at a really good time, and I think we have a really good culture of like, what do you need versus like,
Yeah.
what can you
What do you have?
get, and yeah, what
Yeah.
else can you how else can you tweak
Yeah.
the perception around belts were like you warm up 1 or 2 light sets, you throw a belt on, and then you're good. Back hurts, you put a belt on. It's heavy, put a
Yeah.
belt on. You're doing a lot of reps, put a belt on. There's a barbell, put a belt on. We're doing handstand push-ups and your abs are sore, put a belt. Like it was like everything. And then
Yeah.
everyone started being like, "Hey, maybe you have a weak core and this is a crutch."
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so, yeah, I completely agree. I think you use this totally appropriately where you have it around like your not 85, 90, 100% lifts where it's you assist, but you should still be able to perform most of your lifts and everything with a belt. I
Yeah.
mean, without a belt. And these belts, I also think that you shouldn't just be like, I'm never wearing a belt. And the time is you should practice with it. You should try it with 60 and 70% just to learn how to brace. The
Yeah, yeah.
bracing is different with a belt than with
Yeah, the first time you use it shouldn't be, "Alright, I'm going
oh,
for
I'm
my
going for a
max lift."
max. Give me
You
that
should
belt. What is
you
that?
should
Let
be
me
trying
cinch
it
it
leading
really
up to
tight
that,
and then
yeah.
like figure it out. You
Yeah,
need
if
to
it's
play
max
around with
lift
it.
day, I'm putting it on at 70, 80%.
Yeah. But
But
you've
if it's
used it weeks
70,
before.
80% day, I am not using it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we're in cardio club today, we're maxing out your 1K. So you should probably put a belt on for that. Cinch that puppy down and just
I will
get in
say
there.
I did p I the other day when we were trying to do our, max overhead, shoulder to overhead,
Yeah.
and Billy was killing it. He was absolutely killing it, and I was done, and he was still, like, just, uh, split jerking over and over and over again, and I'm like, "Billy, just put on my belt." Like, "Just put it on, it'll help you." He's like, "No, I don't do that." And he said something that I said, "You know what? Fine, you're right." All you rest of you in here, you're young, you're trying to push the envelope, like you want to get more. He's like, that's just really not my goal. If I'm feeling good right now and I'm lifting good, like I don't need to be trying to push the envelope and hurt myself. And I guess that's because like Billy and Sue in here, they always have that kind of similar like reaction. They're like, "Oh, you young chickies, you don't,
Yeah.
I have different goals than you." But because they're so fit and athletic and they're in here working, I don't really look at them as, of an older crowd. I just kind of look at them the same as me. So I was like,
Right.
"Please put on this belt. I know you'll get 5 more pounds."
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So sorry, Billy, but you're right. You didn't need it. Okay.
Shirts.
Shirts. I actually this is one of those ones that, I have not been influenced by a damn soul.
Nice.
This is
I disagree
truly
with most people on this
this
topic,
is
probably.
truly what I look at myself and I don't even say I look good, I say, "This works."
Perfect. Good.
Okay?
Yes.
So, these are, like, $10 at Dick's Sporting Goods. I have them in, like, 7 colors. I
Boom.
recently just, uh, got rid of a lot of my clothes. I don't wanna, like, manage a lot of that, but I kept all of these. These are Dick's Sporting Goods brand. They're home brand. They're just like a wife beater kinda thing, which is probably something that you shouldn't say. But, they're women's cut, so they're not, like, long. They have a good cut around the, high cut around the arm. They're just plain, easy to rip off when you're ready to go shirtless, and, good all year long. Summer, winter, I wear them all year long.
Shirtless level 1.
Shirtless level 1, yeah. If you're shirtless level 1 and you need a shirt and you're a female, I mean, you could also wear it as a male, but it is the ladies cut. These
Whatever
are
that
great.
means, right?
Well, it means, like, you can kinda see it's like well, hold
You
on.
would be able to see your belly button, but your
You need to
high-waisted pants
narrate
are too
this.
high to be able.
You can see how it goes out at the waist. Say that because I don't have my
It goes out at the waist, at the bottom,
so it's
as opposed to
straight down.
straight down or in.
Yeah, he butchered that narration.
I think it might have picked
So,
up
yeah,
pretty
I
clean.
really like those. They're cheap, they work, they, last a long time. The only one that I've gotten rid of was the white one because it kinda got a little bit janky looking after a while. So I have black, tan, heather gray. I have all their just kinda neutral colors, but they come in all colors of the rainbow. I
Yeah.
like them a lot.
We clean our floors a lot, but you really just can't get away with white or light colored stuff.
No.
The just the black rubber is just it like
Even that'll do it, yeah.
yeah, just the rubber itself is just constantly dirty because it's just black rubber. It,
Yeah.
like, will rub off. So it doesn't it's not like,
It
"Oh,
literally
there's
says it in
dirt."
the name.
Yeah, it's like dirt on the floor. It's like, "No, there's black rubber." Like, go rub like,
Yeah.
anyway. And then so
I also have a bra in here, but you can go on
let's go
shirts.
shirts and then we'll talk about bras. So then we have
We
we
will.
have, uh we have shirts. I think a lot of people like the tech materials. I hate it. I I also don't I'm probably not the best person to talk on shirts because I usually don't work out with a shirt on. And so
He's a level 2.
level 2. The reason why I like it to be like a cotton blend is because I usually use my shirt as like a sweat wicket, like I wipe the sweat off. And if you have like one of those like high tech sweat wicking shirts and you do that, it just like smears the sweat around and it just feels really weird.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
just kind of like, well, now it's just on other sides of my face, whereas a cotton shirt will
Yeah,
absorb it.
you gotta be able to do this.
Right. Exactly, and if you can't or you grab it and you, like, try to wipe something off and it just, like, streaks everywhere and then it's still on your hands, you're like, "What is
Yeah,
this?"
no.
So, that's mine. It's, like, again, super simple. I'm just, uh there aren't a lot of cuts, um, and again, I think it's something that is overcomplicated by the non-males industry. We have T-shirts and long sleeve shirts. In every single upper body item, I am a size large.
Mm. Oh, yeah, I'm all over the place in
Right?
sizes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, literally just the other day, so this is an XL, and I think I buy either an large or an XL when I go to Dick's Sporting Goods. The other day, I went shopping at, Gap, and I bought a small shirt, very similar,
Mhm.
like a tank top,
Yeah.
and it's just like there's no rhyme or reason.
You're just a small. You're
It's
just a
just
small in the guy.
I just had to try on every size, like, I tried on the XL and it's like, "Oh, this is completely too large."
The only time I had to buy a different size is I was in Malaysia and I had to buy an extra large.
That
That was
tracks.
yeah, and that was it. Like every other time, it's like because like the guy sizing and it's like so whatever. All right,
Yeah, no,
now
sizing is tough. Oh, wait, before we go on to bras, I have one other thing. You can see I'm wearing this really spectacular top. It's called the Comfy. It is the best thing I've ever purchased, and I have to talk about this as gear because it's not just CrossFit gear. This is gear for life. I love this thing. This is one of those things where I should have code Shannon for 20% off because I recommend it to everybody. If you're living in New England, I think it's the best thing to have. I wear it all the time, and I did get it in preparation for a CrossFit competition, so I call it CrossFit gear. I was doing a competition in the winter, January at a gym that I anticipated would probably have garage doors open throughout the day, and I didn't wanna be, like, freezing my ass off, so I bought this, and I wear it pretty much every night. So, I love this thing, the comfy dream, actually. That's what I get. Okay, now bras. I
Oh, you wanna go first? Alright. Yeah, you can go first.
Oh, no! Take it away, Elliot. What do
Alright,
you wanna say about bras?
bras. Ladies, I'm sorry you have to deal with this. I'm sure at this part, this is probably one of
Ugh.
those items where it would have to be the most diverse and ever-changing pieces of equipment. Those things fluctuate, they shake, they bounce, they swivel.
Listen to him mansplain
That
boobies right now.
that must be so frustrating, right? Not only are the sizes all over the place in the cups, but your lats are getting bigger and smaller. If you lose a little weight, the cups don't fit anymore. The All that stuff. That Shout out to the leaf blower guy. Um, hopefully, let's see if it
I
picks that up.
I
But
bet it won't pick up too bad.
but I've just seen this is another thing where I just witnessed the true problems of like the pants things, ladies, you need to figure that shit out. The bra thing, I feel like I get it, that it's like really complicated. And I
He
hope,
feels like he gets it.
yeah, because I see you struggling and I'm like, there's really nothing that you can do about it. Like there isn't, just unless you have really small boobs, which would be ideal, right? Because then you're just like, we just put a little bit of compression on there and they're just in place and it's no problem. But I feel like if you're anything over an A, you're just like, what the? Okay, no, you go. Was I
Okay.
close?
I don't know. I don't know if
You
I
just
really like
already
that
wanted
whole
to
thing
disagree with
anyway.
me no matter
No,
what
I
because I
don't
was a
wanna
guy
disagree with
talking
you.
about
I
boobs.
can't You were just talking about how it's a pain in the ass. It is a pain in the
Yeah.
ass. You're not wrong. But it's just one of those things where it's like, you're talking about something that really you don't have any clue what it's like. Like
Okay.
like, if you just don't. You can empathize, and that I appreciate that you just did, but, like, it's just one of those places where you should go, "Shannon, you have titties. You should talk about
Well,
this."
I don't think I would call them. I would don't think I would use that vernacular, but
Let's talk about this over the shoulder boulder holder, okay? This is the, Carrie Underwood bra, and I have a lot of different bras. I've tried a many. Again, I'm not a big money spender, so a lot of my bras are just like they I usually don't like the ones that say high impact. The ones that say high impact, which are so when you're buying bras, Elliot,
yes.
there's typically a grading: low impact, medium impact, high impact. Low impact really only works in any situation for my small, my itty bitty titty committee girlies. Okay, which
Like around my
pride
size.
for them.
There are my size out there, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay, but they're not all muscle.
Right, true.
There's other things going on even for my small girlies. Oh, hold on.
No, just keep
Okay,
going.
so um low impact is something I have never dabbled with. Not going to work for your girl with, I have D's at least. So, and again, that depends on the brand and the size that you're buying. So, I always go medium impact or higher. Medium impact I like because it typically has good coverage and it's not doing too much. The high impact is always doing too much. There's clasps and hooks and adjustments that can be made, and typically I'm not liking that. So I usually go medium impact in a smaller size, and it straps those girls down, presses them down. That's usually where I'm at. So I'll do that like with the Fleo brand. I have a few bras from them. I have a few bras from Noble. High neck, low neck, I don't really care. I just want it to be tight. I want them to be held down. That's it. But I invested in one because it's 60 effing dollars. One of these high impact Calia by Carrie Underwood bras. This is available at Dick's Sporting Goods. It has very, very thick band all the way around, and then it has these straps that you pull over and you connect right here, and you decide how high you want to pull the girls up. This is the only bra I've ever had that when running, they don't bounce around like crazy. So, I really love this bra. I reserve it for running days, and, yeah, I won't be buying more because it's $60 and one is enough, and my medium impacts work just great, but yeah, bras are tough. I try to be pretty low key about it. I don't care about cleavage. You don't grow up with double D's and care about cleavage. Like, you just have to get over it at a certain point. But I know some people like to have high neck so that they don't have their boobies hanging out. I'm over that. The leaf blower guy's like literally outside the window right now. So
Helping us through this
yeah,
conversation
yeah.
here. Yeah, I mean,
Any comments on that?
yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think getting ones that you can adjust the height is good. I would so
Usually it's too much
my
though.
experience with wearing a bra, and then this is also a thing that you would technically get used to, I think, more often when it's just like something that you have to do. Like you could imagine that running with just boxers or no underwear as a man would be awkward. Maybe even the first time if we like just put something down there and be like, how do you move around with this thing constantly between your legs? So the first time you do it, it may be like, but if you grew up with them and then they're like slowly sized on you, it would be normal. So my experience with like a bra would only be the heart rate monitor, and that's on usually pretty tight, and it's around pretty much
Mhm.
that area, and it sucks. Like you're like trying to breathe, so it's like you're fighting this game of like, well, I want everything like hugged to me and tight, so it's not moving around,
Mhm.
but I need to breathe. And one key part of breathing is the rib cage expanding. So if you're like hugging your rib cage and trying to breathe at the same time, it's a real problem. So
Yeah, keeping them tight, it's a
you have to
hard
like
balance to
flirt.
walk.
So what I think you need to not only do an underwire, but an overwire.
No,
No, I'm just kidding.
underwires are for
I know.
crazy people. I don't even wear underwires in my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
But actually, I just wanna expand slightly. This one does have, like, some hooks, like, to be able to adjust the stuff, so it's the only bra I have that has the regular stuff, but it's the only one that I've tried that has the extra hardware, if you will, that is still comfortable. Like, if you start to I have a couple of bras that are similar that I bought in the past that I think were from Jockey, and it was they just the hooks were moving and they were digging into your side, and that's where you get the girls who stand up from the jump ropes after things are bouncing around and everything's moving, and I'm sitting there trying to change things around because 'cause I'm worried that the hook's gonna break or whatever. So, that you can't really get away from if you have something that's not sturdy and comfortable, but the Calia by Carrie Underwood big girl bra is, I'm trying to see if I can find the name of it on here, but if I can, I'll, put it in the comments. Something like that, but it's good. I like it. Okay, that's bras. Hands?
Hands.
Hands. Alright. I have a couple things for hands, and then this is pretty much the last of my items, so, um, I invested in this liquid chalk early on because I thought it was cool. I don't like it anymore, so I just wanna say to everyone who I suggested liquid chalk to over the
Apologize right
years,
now.
I wanna
And please apologize to me too.
I apologize, and I don't apologize to Elliot specifically because I can't speak to that. That's not gear. That's owning a
Hold
business.
on. As a coach, just as a coach, you see this liquid chalk like pop up and go back away, pop up. And it's so bad because most of the time people come up to you and they're really excited to tell you something like, Elliot, I PR'd my clean, and like you be happy for them. Or they're like, hey, I lost all this weight. This program's really working. And like I know it works. So when people come up to me and tell me that, it's like obviously like I'm really excited for them because like I want everyone to be successful. But sometimes you're like, yeah, I know. Like that is the whole reason why I created this business. So like sometimes people come up to you and be like, "Look, I got liquid chalk. You just rub it on your hands and then it fully coats." And you're like, "Perfect." Because now I know where all your hands will be everywhere. And so imagine,
It's like
hold
somebody
on.
being like, "Look, I found pencils." It's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
like,
those have
look,
existed for a
you can
long
sharpen
time.
them. And there's like the sharpener. And imagine like everybody sharpening their pencil without like the sharpening shavings catcher. They're like, look, and it just sharpens it again and again. And it's just falling over the floor. And you're like, wow, that's so cool that your pencils are sharp. So my rant on chalk very quickly is you got me started. the Imagine using anything else like you use chalk in the gym, certain people. Like imagine having a full bottle of water and taking a sip every time you would chalk your hands during an 8-minute Metcon. People are like, one toes to bar, sip of water, one toes to bar, sip of water, one toes to bar, sip of water, 5 burpees, big chug of water, one toes to bar. It's like, you don't need that much chalk. If your hands are sweaty, you have to wipe your hands off. You need like a towel because the 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 chalk just like makes tries to add friction, but if you add chalk and water, you get a paste, and the paste is more slippery. Also, when you're caking the bar, the knurling, imagine like mountains. Now imagine filling those mountains up with chalk. Now rub your hand over the mountains. It's smooth now because you caked in the spots that are supposed to be grippy.
I get
So,
it.
like, I'll do full days of working out. There will be like 3 different things with a barbell. We'll do a Metcon with muscle ups, and I don't chalk at all, or I'll chalk once, but I wipe my hands off. Go
I
ahead.
would like to say I don't use chalk all that often. Even when I bought this, I only use it on the rig, really. That's the only time that I go, "Oh, I need to use chalk."
Jackie does all of her home workouts without chalk at all. No chalk.
Good
So
good
so
good to know.
so if you aren't as fit as Jackie, you don't need chalk, right?
I feel that I do sometimes need chalk.
Okay.
So that's what that is.
There's a difference between feeling like you need chalk, because obviously the people that are chalking every rep feel that they need it.
I feel, think, believe, and know that I need chalk.
Why?
I know myself.
Have you tried squeezing the bar harder?
Yeah,
And what happens?
I slip off.
Oh, so you need stronger forearms, you don't need chalk.
Yes, I
There it
guess.
is.
But if I wanna get this workout done,
You need stronger fore okay.
but that's not gonna happen today. That's
Do
like
you
he's
have the
basically saying you can't go from flat ass shoe or comfy ass shoes to flat shoes.
but
You need something in the middle.
taking more breaks to chalk isn't gonna make your forearm stronger. Do you
Well,
have
I'm not saying
hand
that I'm
grips?
doing that.
Do you have hand grips, or did
No.
we forget those?
No, I
Okay,
don't have those. I've never used
gymnastic
those
grips.
because I'm too much of a bad bitch with my chalk.
Okay.
Anyway, I now use the if I am gonna use chalk, I use, like, a little bit of chalk that's dry chalk, but I'm typically stealing that from friends or the gym. I've never bought that myself.
Grab some from the ground.
Yep, I find it on the ground. It works just fine.
When, like, in a J hook,
And I
there's a little
don't go
nugget.
crazy. Like I it's basically like in the middle of a metcon if I'm getting on the rig or sometimes yes, grabbing the bar, but I don't want I'm doing a clean. I don't want it to slip out of my hands. I'm feeling a little bit sweaty and wiping it off isn't doing quite enough. Then I only do like a little swipe on the top pads of my hand. That's it. Swipe, swipe.
People think I don't like chalk because it makes
Because
a
he just
mess,
made a
and you
whole
have to
fucking rant
because you have to
about not
because
liking
you
chalk.
make a mess, and we have to clean it up and all that stuff. No, if I really didn't like
That's
cleaning
why
up chalk,
Julie doesn't
I
like
would
chalk.
yeah, that's why Julie doesn't like chalk. But I would just ban chalk if it was that big of a problem. The more thing is, it's like you're just watching someone flail around and lying to themselves like it's like their safety blanket, and you're like, "This isn't why this is happening." Like, you're not missing your pull-ups because you don't have enough chalk on your hands, or like you're not going to make or miss this clean or snatch because you don't have enough chalk on your hands. It's just your technique. Like, maybe the reasons that your hips shot up in the air and then you like push the bar away from you is why you missed the lift, not because you didn't have chalk up to your elbows. And that's all. I just want to help people really focus on what does matter in the metcons, and where your mind keeps thinking like, oh, this is what I need. And it's like, no, you need to just rest instead of frantically chalking and then jumping back up to the bar. Just take a second, focus
But
on the positioning.
okay, here's the example for me. This is what would happen with me. I could do like let's say when I first decided to start giving chalk a try and bought this silly thing. I was holding on to the bar and able to do like 2 kipping hanging knee raises, right? Trying to add the kip, trying to practice the kip. With chalk and maybe a little bit of placebo, I'll give it to you. A little bit of placebo from the chalk like, "Oh, I'm sturdy there now." I could do 6, 7 kipping. And now I've really gotten in reps practicing repeated kipping, and getting that in as opposed to 2, jump down, and 2 is really only 1. right, to actually practice the motion, back to back. Isn't there merit in if whatever it is that helps you hang on longer?
We're arguing 2 different things. You're arguing the efficacy of chalk, like, does it work? Is there a place for it? And we both agree that, yes, there is some performance benefit to it, but I'm arguing that it is way overused
Okay,
and
fine.
leaned on way too much.
Okay.
Because, like, if that was the case, if it was that much of a thing, then my performance would have to degrade so much if I didn't have chalk. But, like, if I were to try to do a max set of ring muscle ups and, like, it was a competition, would I chalk my hands before? Yes.
Yeah, but
But,
now
like,
but now that I practiced with the 7 thanks to the chalk and I get time under tension holding onto the bar and not feeling like I'm slipping, and, once you slip this much, if you don't have
you're good.
enough
Yeah,
or you don't have the arm strength, then you're done,
yeah,
right? But if you get practice there and the chalk helps you hang on a little bit, then now you can do the
yeah.
7
Chalk
without the
helps.
chalk.
Rock climbers use chalk. It's good. Chalk is good. But it's like, if you're yeah, maybe you just haven't observed as many classes as
Yeah,
I have,
I
but there are
don't.
people that are, like, nowhere close to a pull up or whatever, and they're chalking their hands and then trying again and chalking their hands and it's like,
Okay,
it's your back, biceps, forearms, and grip, like in hands, not the chalk isn't the thing here. And the
okay.
bar's white, the hands are white, everything.
So I
So,
think we can agree that both of us are right, and we'll move on from chalk. I also have this I also have this I because I started thinking about, like, gear, and again, I other than, like, shoes and pants, like, these it's not really gear, it's, like, essential things you have to wear when you're working out. I don't really have, like, a whole lot of gear, like, I don't use you're gonna hopefully talk about wrist wraps and hand straps and tape and all sorts of other garb. I don't use any of that, so what I do have is this pumice stone, keep it in my shower. My husband and I both use this one. Don't come it for me, it's not gross. And, just to keep the calluses low, keep
yeah,
the hands healthy.
that's the best way to do it. Shave down or file down your calluses the day before a rest day. So, if you rest on
Yeah,
Wednesdays, Tuesday night, really, like, grind them down in the shower or whatever you have, and then the next day, they can be a little bit, like, raw or sore or whatever, and then on Thursday, your day after your rest day, everything's fine. The
yeah,
biggest thing
I
with not
I've
ripping a
made the
callus is
mistake
trying.
I've
uh,
made the mistake of grinding them down, like, the day before, like, kipping something workout
and you're like,
or
"My
the
hands
heavy
hurt
lift, you're
so
like,
bad."
I can't hold the bar. But no, this is great. I did at one point I was influenced by Danielle Brandon, the, like, little callus grinder thing
Mhm.
that, like, supposedly collects your little clippings and puts them in this little cylinder. Looks like a chapstick, basically.
Right.
It's too much. It's too much. I feel like your hands need to be wet to really make a difference. So in the shower, easy peasy.
Yeah,
Just get one
I
of
would go
these.
with that.
And
I
this
used
was
to
like
use
a
that.
dollar. So
I don't know what happened with my hands, but I don't I used to have to, like, care for my calluses. I don't do it anymore I don't know what happened, but, like, they just stay this size and there's no problem, and it might be because I don't use as much chalk
oh,
now, but
Elliot's perfect, I
I
guess.
guess that part of me is perfect.
He's just evolved
No,
as a
I
CrossFit
have guilty
human.
pleasures I'll go over. So now we have wrist wraps.
Oh,
I
so
really
maybe
like.
your wrists are weak.
Yeah, so I used to be the type of person that, again, almost like the lifters person or the belt person, I would put wrist wraps on for everything because the front rack hurt, and anytime we were pressing overhead or doing
Yeah.
things, I was like, "How can I put wrist wrap? Like, it's today wrist wrap day." And then I, like, had that moment of, like, maybe I have weak wrists. And so I
No
was
doubt, no
like, I'm
doubt.
not going to use them. And if I can't lift the weight without wrist wraps, I'm going to not lift the weight. So I started to not use wrist wraps, and it was painful in the beginning. But then, truly, my wrists got much stronger and much better. And then now I use wrist wraps very similarly to the way that I use a belt, where if it's a maximal lift or my wrists are a little bit sore from handstand walking or wall walking or whatever. They got a little beat up the day before, and I just need a little bit of support. Then I use them. And these ones are nice. These are my favorite. You can wrap them around and you can get them like almost too tight. And that way, if it's really heavy, you can really support. I just see sometimes people wear wrist wraps incorrectly. They put them like right at the start of where their wrist bends and then down their forearm. And it's actually not helping the wrist out at all. It needs to be like over top of the wrist joint. So it's like actually difficult to like move your wrist completely back because it should be like supporting the wrist, not just hugging the bones in your forearm.
Yeah.
So that's just a a quick one there, and then I have thumb tape. This is my guilty pleasure. This is like my crutch. I really like to tape my thumbs because I get like a little bit of
Oh, you get
like
a little
a little bit
scratchy.
of callus, or
Aw.
I get like a little like raw mark just because I'm doing so many toes to bar in a row. No, and it's just like it's
Yeah, he's
nice.
moved beyond chalk
Not
to
only
the
that,
tape.
yeah, the tape is like my so it's nice too because when I just hook grip, I get a little bit of the tackiness from the tape. Oh, and it's just so much easier to do a bunch of like cleans and stuff. So I really like this stretchy tape. It's not just the athletic tape. It's a tacky, stretchy, soft tape, and you just stretch it around your thumb. It's so nice.
Looks like solid chalk to me.
It's basically the same way that I use chalk. Do I need it? No. But it's one of those things where it does do a little bit of protection, but it's not
And it doesn't make a mess at his beloved
it
gym.
also doesn't make a mess, and I'm not retaping my thumbs. It's not slowing me down in a Metcon. It's not making my head think. But psychologically, if I didn't have thumb tape, I'd be like, "Uh-oh, I'm not gonna do as well in this workout." So, it's something I work on. I have flaws. Um, and then we have straps. The straps are nice on heavy pulling days if your hands hurt and you're
What's
just
that, like
tired
on
of
a
gripping.
deadlift situation?
Yeah, deadlift or clean pulls or something like snatch pulls.
So you're wrapping that around the bar.
That you wrap this around the bar, it goes around the wrist, and it basically just like puts all the pressure around your wrist instead of like holding with your forearms. I'm probably one of two people in the gym that use straps, mainly because we're not doing enough pulling from the ground to really need or encourage them. I don't I like I'll use them once in a while, maybe like 5 times in a year, and just a lot of times because like, "Oh, I'm gonna use my straps that I bought a while ago." Like, that's truly why. So, like, if everyone was like, that's what I'm missing. I need the straps." It's not what you were missing. Maybe if you're in, like,
Yeah, if
weightlifting club,
if your back is rounding in the deadlift,
the
you don't
straps
need
are
the
not
straps.
Yeah,
Okay, I like that. That's all good hand stuff. All
yeah,
right, I have 2 final things that are
okay.
pretty quick. Um, I invested in the RPM speed rope a while ago. I had the double under wonder or whatever for a hot minute. Um, it it made a difference for me. Placebo effect or not, I don't really care. I
It is a better rope.
I started I was close to being able to string them together as it was. Like, so with the jump rope that I had, I was able to do like single under, 2 double unders, single under, 2 or 3 double unders. Like I could kind of get there. But this just started making a big difference and it hurts like a mother if you mess up. So it's really good motivation to get that jump high
I don't know
enough.
if I could say that good motivation, but it's definitely a
It
thing.
it sucks. If
Do
you're
it barefoot then.
Oh, it's not a
Bad bitch.
yeah, yeah, that's true. No, for me, it's when this thing hits I don't know when how I mess it up, but however I mess it up to make it smack my butt, oh, it's sickening, sickening.
Have you ever hit the top of your head?
No,
Nothing
no,
makes you
but I
feel
got a lot of
more like
hair.
I just get so mad. Like, I feel so stupid, and so it's like someone just walked up and just slapped you in the back of the head and called you an idiot. And you're just like,
Oh,
"Ugh."
yeah, no, it's just like I get like it like makes me gag when it smacks me in the butt. I'm serious, it does. It makes me sick.
The hand is good because it hurts enough, and you're just like,
Yeah,
"Dang."
but and it's also like you've when it smacks you in the butt, you've gotta start jumping
And
again.
you
You've
gotta, like,
gotta start
walk
jumping
around. You
again.
have to move.
No, if you keep walking around, it's like the long burn
Yeah, oh,
sting.
yeah, yeah.
You gotta just start jumping again so you get your blood pumping in other areas and you're done. But I
Yeah.
really like this jump rope. It's a little haggard in the bottom because I didn't store it correctly at first.
But once you buy the handle, it's basically you're
Yeah,
paying $35 for handles, and then the cables are like 4, 5, $6, and you can accessorize those colors and everything. So it's really
yeah,
and then you just have like a beautiful rope, and it's really hard to break those handles. Like they're
yeah,
metal, and
yeah.
so they're gonna last a really long time. And the knurling, even if it gets rubbed off, you don't that's not really breaking the bank for you.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So yeah, I think investing in a solid jump rope once you have at least good single unders. Like you can do single unders with anything.
Okay, hold on. What about jumping from jump rope? Last thing, I have no experience with this. What do people do? What's the gear for glasses? I feel like I'd wear goggles.
Oh, see, I can't speak on that because my glasses aren't strong enough for me to need to
Oh,
do
you don't
anything
need
about
yeah.
that. My husband though, he
'Cause I
he
see
he
people
does.
fixing them, and they're like, I couldn't imagine trying to power clean. Like, I've cleaned and done some CrossFit workouts with sunglasses on, and I usually take them off unless the sun is really
Yeah, like
bright.
running and it's like
But, like
sliding down your
but,
face,
like,
yeah.
how do you guys do it?
Goggles, I mean, people have the little thing that holds them, like, in the back, like the
Yeah.
little
I feel
drawstring
like that's
thing.
what you have to do.
That's what you gotta
Or
do.
contacts, obviously.
My husband just deals with it or he goes blind. Um,
But, like, I see people upside down in wall climbs, and they're, like, fogged up, dripping, and I'm like,
no,
that's not
you
the
gotta
thing."
get some, like, single use,
So you're saying a drawstring makes sense.
you're so Yes, Elliot, I'm saying a drawstring makes
I
sense
feel like
because
we've covered
you don't
everything
have
then.
hips on your fucking head,
I
okay?
feel like we got head hips. What are these?
Yeah, because you got
Temples
a
and the
big
new
ass
head
head.
hip. These are my head hips.
Yeah. Okay, last thing. This isn't gear either, but I was pulling out all the stops. I think you should download the Beyond the Whiteboard app, log your workouts. I don't use a binder. Like if my husband was here talking about his gear and what he has in his bag, oh, which a gym bag is also nice. I don't bring it to the gym because I leave most of my gear just here. But like for comp day or whatever, it's nice to have a solid gym bag. Um, but if my husband was here showing us his gym bag, he has a binder with paper. He writes out his lifts. He writes it down in a binder that he can look back at and say, okay, let me look back at the last time I squatted. What was I doing? So that's good. We at Dauntless have access to the Beyond the Whiteboard app. I think it's worth keeping track. It's not perfect. It doesn't always pull up your numbers like the way that you want the app to, based on the way that our fearless leader here enters the workout. Sometimes it's not the best,
And
but
sometimes your scores and
it's good.
times, like, expire. So if you haven't done a
Yeah,
lift in, like, 2 years, it doesn't, like, give you that number. Because in
which is
reality,
fair,
it's
right?
fair.
Yeah,
Like, if you haven't
you
strict
got to
press in
retest
2
that.
years, you need to retest. But
Yeah,
it is good to, like, ballpark and just get in the habit of, like, keeping yourself accountable for what you're actually doing. And, yes, there is also a good time to be like, depending on your psychological tolerances of, like, maybe today isn't a day to track, and I just, like, move my body, and that's, like, enough. If
yeah,
you're new to fitness, maybe don't worry about that. But if you've been doing it and like getting to the gym isn't like a big anxiety event, maybe start tracking so we
yeah,
can show you that this stuff actually works instead of like waiting for like Thanksgiving for people to be like, "Oh my god, you lost so much weight."
yeah.
And you're
Well,
like, "I
and
feel like I look the same."
I think it's like there's two situations for me where it's like don't bother with the app. And this can come seasonally. Like I go in and out of using the app. Like sometimes I need to give myself some weeks of just not logging, and that's okay. One is if you're leaderboarding. Like if you get to the point, like, and I've had situations where, especially when I really got committed in CrossFit and I was getting a lot of PRs, and I started really comparing myself to other big lifters here. I'd be like, what did Lauren get in that workout? What did Clara get in that
Instead of
workout?
being like, "Did I give
Did
full
I do
effort?"
better in that workout? Did I give full effort? Like writing out how I scaled it, like concerning myself that I was the only one who didn't go RX on that workout, like that kind of thing. I don't, if I'm starting to get like that, I will not log for a little
And the
while.
most dangerous part of that is you're probably doing it right after you finished a workout. So you're pairing like a dopamine response with a comparison. So you're
Exactly.
like, "Oh, I just finished the workout. Oh, I got beat by 2 reps," and then that whole wave of, like, positivity and, like, self-affirmation and all of that goes, like, boom, and then right back down, and then you're like, and then you trained your body to be like, after a workout, sometimes I don't feel good or I feel bad about myself. Instead of, like, laying
Yeah.
down on the floor and being like, "That was good. I gave it a lot," or "I'm so glad I moved
Yeah.
today," and then later on, maybe you look at the leaderboard and be like, "Oh, somebody beat me, but actually that doesn't really matter because we both tried
Yeah.
really hard."
Yeah. Yeah. Then the other time that I would say is worth like taking the off the gas pedal of tracking is like if you're just in a not great headspace about how you're working out. Like maybe you haven't come to the gym for a little while, you're not lifting as well or moving as well as you were, or like you've got really stressful weeks at work or in your home life, or you went on vacation and you're coming back and like you're just not doing how you expect yourself to be doing, and logging something that you feel like you should have done better at isn't isn't keeping you again in a good headspace about that workout. Basically, if logging is giving you any sense of, if you're feeling things as you're logging other than like, "I killed that workout." when you do kill a workout. If it's anything more than just I'm logging how I performed today, so it's information for me 6 months from now when we redo this workout. If it's anything weirder than that, don't do it.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. And just
Yeah.
get in here and move and do your workout and leave. But if you want to have those insights and you can log it that way, it's worth doing.
And, you get Beyond the Whiteboard for free if you haven't. We have a gym code at the gym or you can just ask me and we'll give you the code and you do it all for free, and I'm pretty sure they let you track your food now for free in there too. I'm pretty sure there's, like,
Yeah,
macro tracking and stuff for free. They
they've
used
had a
to
bunch
have
of
you pay for
changes,
it,
yeah.
but now you it's like basically a MyFitnessPal, which they rose their prices. It's like $40 a month now or something.
But you know what MyFitnessPal did do? If you go over your caloric goals, it's no longer a big negative red number, it's gray. So that's called a
But
software upgrade, folks.
the Beyond the Whiteboard says, "Did you eat good or bad today?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "This is not for me."
This is not correct.
All right.
Okay, we are done for today, yeah?
Close
Did
it
you
out,
have
Shannon.
anything
I
else?
think that's the only headbands. I do sweatbands. See, I can't wear anything on my head. It's like a prison. I feel like this the whole time, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Ugh."
yeah.
Sweatbands to wipe the sweat or a t-shirt is
Oh,
the
you
best
go
thing.
like this with it?
Yeah.
That's smart, okay, I like that.
Instead of the headband
Wearing
because
one.
it just messes with me personally.
Well,
I've
and it
seen
doesn't make
people
sense
pull
to
off
me
the
because like,
headband.
sweat can be below the headband, right?
Yeah, but I think headbands work for people with hair too because it, like, holds your hair down and
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Me,
yeah,
it's just like I just feel like my head's being squeezed.
yeah. And
Um,
I don't have any specific, like, hair band things, I just have to wear thick hair ties, so
Ponytails and yeah.
okay, well, this was a great episode. What I would like is all listeners to sound off in the comments what you think the title of this episode should have been.
And
We will name it something.
yeah, but, also shout out to Jackie for making it all the way through this episode. We really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Jackie, we hear you. We wanna know what this episode should be called from
Yeah,
you. Um, but yeah, this was a great episode. Thank you, Elliot, for all of your great, kind, manly words about women's clothing.
yeah.
And,
My Mamrie opinions.
yeah. And, if you like this episode, give us a like, give us a thumbs up on YouTube.
Or if you didn't like it,
Or if you didn't like it,
let us know.
yeah, let us know. Don't do the thumbs down,
No, you
maybe.
can do thumbs down if you want.
I guess.
Just
All right.
let us know,
I appreciate
you know?
grading. So, anyways, we're going to go work out now. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.